Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 4 of the Solo Challenger Heroic series. This is the series where we go through and do as many bosses as we can and complete Diamond, hopefully, as a solo player. So we are still progressing our character, the Wind Archer, and I kind of made a decision to focus on that character because it was honestly kind of difficult going back and forth between the Sia and my Wind Archer. And we're not really making a lot of progress on anything other than the Wind Archer, so I figured let's put it all into this one character. But I didn't really want to skip over all the progress we made on Sia because we are pretty much spending all of our main Chronos time. Whenever we do log on there, it's pretty much just the dailies for Sia so that we can still steadily level up that character. Also, we still are doing all of our other characters, at least some of the daily bosses, so just keep that in mind. Every video I might remind you every once in a while that I still am doing some of my daily stuff on my other characters in Chronos just to keep up with those characters whenever we do go back to Chronos. Same thing with my Wind Archer. I am doing all my dailies on my Wind Archer. I might not just mention it every single time. And I quickly did want to address how long it's been between this video and the last one. I was pretty sick for some time, so I was putting off making this video. And like I said, I also did make the decision to focus this whole series on my Wind Archer's progression and going forward, because I do have a ton of stuff still lined up, a ton of footage, a ton of progress. And this video is about 2 weeks behind, so I apologize for that, but I do try to catch you up as best I can in this video. And of course, as we get closer or past 260, the progression does slow down. That being said, even though we are going to be focusing on our Wind Archer primarily, I did want to go over the Sia real quick because I did make Sia. The whole point of me making Sia was so that I could do it in Chronos World, do my dailies there, and then also do my dailies on my Wind Archer, and we just get the double benefit. So that is what we're doing here. Overall, Sia was a great character, a really fun, actually really strong character, especially with the Challenger World stuff. So I honestly would highly recommend it. Regardless of how you feel, I did end up buying the Sia Shooting Star Pass. It wasn't that expensive for me. Everything, personal finance is personal, so don't buy it if it's too expensive for you. That's all I gotta say about that. I think it was super good value. At least the Premier Pass, it just gives you so much XP tickets. It really saves so much time. So I went and got that, and I have been really happy with it so far. Overall, playing Sia has been a blast. My biggest complaint and my biggest gripe, which as far as I've seen now is a lot of people's similar experience, is that her mobility and her movement is not the best. She is a blink class, and she has a double jump, she has an air stall, and she has a blink / teleport. The range is really small, and it's honestly just not the best. And overall, the class is a little clunky, especially because, for me, one of the biggest things is you can't cast any abilities while falling. Literally any of them, which is kind of annoying. So if you jump, you can't cast an ability if you're falling. And the thing is, because the character's teleport range is so short, you are jumping kind of a lot because you have to jump in order to teleport up or down different platforms. So overall, that kind of adds to the character just feeling extremely clunky. It feels really, really nice as far as damage and everything, but it's kind of hard to get over. I really like smooth mobile classes. Like, obviously, I have the Mojuan, the Hero or the Zero, and also the Mercedes, and now the Wind Archer, which they all are pretty mobile classes, or at least they feel really good to play. So that is going to be it for Sia. I will update you on that character from time to time, but just know I am doing stuff on my other characters like the Mojuan, the Zero, and stuff like that, but I might not mention it. As far as some progress that we made on our Wind Archer, we actually got a pretty good milestone out of the way. We were able to solo Helix, and actually it was a breeze on this class. I totally forgot that this class has a crystal that taunts the bosses, which completely trivializes Gollux. It's so effective against Gollux and makes it so I can do it much easier and earlier than a lot of other classes. So I was able to get Golix and all of his Helix coins as soon as possible. This crystal is actually so OP, you can see me doing Damien here and it slows the blue balls, and on top of that I can use my tornadoes to hit them in the middle of the air. And that also kind of covers where we are as far as bossing goes. We are still training and leveling up, which I'll be going over in a second. But just to mention, our highest boss we have done so far is Lotus and Damien, and we are keeping our sights on the next boss. I have only ever done up to Lotus and Damien, so the next bosses we do are going to be pure progression. So that's super exciting, getting ready for things like Slime and maybe even Lucid. Thanks for sticking with me for this recap. Let's get into some actual progress. Alright, we have moved on to the next area. We got level 240 just now, and we actually did it up here. Asphera, we did it at the Mirror Touched C7. Wasn't too tough, honestly. A really simple rotation, just setting up the Urta Shower on the left, or the Urta Fountain on the left, and I was killing on the right with my Phalanx Charge, clearing on the bottom. Honestly, they weren't clearing super efficiently, so it's not the best map unless you can clear the bottom part really well. I found it to be okay, and it only took me around 45 minutes for the level, so I can't really complain too much. And it moved on to Celis. This is probably one of my favorite areas in the whole game. I really like it. And I made sure to get my next thing for the Hyperburn. So this is the next reward, the Infinite Flame coupon. Honestly, an insane coupon. It gives you 100 Arcane and 50 Sacred Power, as well as it doubles all the bonuses from the previous one, including XP. So it is just straight up an upgrade in pretty much every single way. And we can attempt Angel Slime soon, but I think I have around 7 million combat power, and I just would probably like a little bit more. Also, I keep forgetting to complete this, so make sure, don't be like me and complete it. Also, besides that, we did upgrade our nodes a little bit because we did unlock more with leveling. So we got a blessing as well as decent advanced blessing. Just a little bit of damage here and there. At this point, we don't need to upgrade our tri-nodes anymore. So we just put a little bit more boosts into all of our skills. And yeah, we do have some XP nodes that we got from leveling. I think I could put some of them into some pretty important ones. So Vicious Shot is probably one of our most important skills that we have. I do want to boost it a lot. 14 is going to be big, because it gives us just a ton of raw damage during our burst, which, I mean, we don't really have a lot of burst, but, you know, we try. On top of that, I am going to be boosting up this a little bit. Just make sure we get more XP off a decent holy symbol. And also, I am going to upgrade Fountain, because I do want to make sure it continues to at least 1 or 2 shot mobs going into, you know, the higher levels. Honestly, I kind of don't think it matters which order you level things up in. Just make sure you do what makes sense for you at the time. I think a lot of people worry too much about that stuff, especially on a Hyperburn. You kind of just work through it really quickly anyways. Alright, well, I'm going to troll around in different maps and see which ones work really well. I usually like this map the most. I don't know if I'm going to stay here, but this is typically the map I like the most. It's a really simple map, and also kind of low kill count, so people don't come here often. And because of that, usually has high burning, like you just saw. 80% burning, so nice XP, even if you get lower kill count, still 80%, you know, it's hard to beat. So I think I might stay here for a little bit. I don't know if, oh wait, we're level 240. I just interrupted my monologue because I just realized, check this out. This is what I was hiding from you guys. Compensation box. If you know you're a knower, mag growth pot 2. This is the maximum benefit you can get from mag growth pot. I'm so glad there was 48 hours of maintenance, because this made it all worth it. Bam, 245. And 250. Yes. Hell yeah. That is amazing. All right, we went from 235 to 250. I don't even know why I was talking about anything else. I should have just done that right away. That is awesome. That I don't think I'll ever get tired of that. So we can up these points a little bit more. Heck yes. Let's also claim our rewards while we're getting punched by these mobs. 250 symbol selector and more XP nodes. And again. Man, yeah, those levels would have taken a while and they would have kind of sucked. So really glad we got through that. That was crazy. I totally forgot. I was planning that and I wanted to like reveal it. It would have been cool. Everyone would have been surprised if I did it in a cool, smooth way, but we're doing it live. And so naturally, I kind of messed up, but it's okay. It's okay. That means more dailies. We have the Labyrinth of Suffering unlocked, the home of me and Varishella. Got the quest for Varishella as well. And we also got the 250 chair. Huge. I haven't seen anyone with a 250 chair, so we actually might be able to just camp this character overnight and farm fame potentially. Not that I'm sure I know I'm not the first, right? There's probably people that are already 260, maybe even 261 or higher. Not me, so I'm just hyped to get 250, honestly. That's awesome. I totally forgot about that, so my surprise even surprised me. That's how good at surprises I am. Alright, so we are going to try and tier up this ring. I just really want Dex, or not Dex, it has Dex. I really want Drop, so we got to hit it Legendary. We only have 30 cubes. I did this before with 30 cubes and no luck, unfortunately. I don't really even like using red cubes or these cheaper cubes just because I like to have, you know, kind of guaranteed results, which these ones are really a gamble because it's really just whatever you get is whatever you get. You might end up just getting kind of trash and you kind of have to stick with it for the time being. But we're not getting lucky on these tier ups. We got super lucky the other day on those secondaries and that was awesome. Pretty much getting the exact opposite on both of these rings. Neither of them, I think I've spent like probably close to $1 bill on both of them combined. And we're just not getting lucky. I could have kept that one that was 12% dex, but it doesn't look like we are going to be getting... Nope. Unfortunate, so no luck here. I'm going to try and go for dex. Hey, we got 9% back. Oh, man. Both of these are giving me such trouble. This, you know, this is payback because this secondary went to legendary so fast. And this emblem also went pretty quick, but you know, it honestly feels like these rings just do not want to go. Like it's almost as if they can't go to legendary. I know they can, but when they fail so much, it makes me feel like they can't. So anyways, that's our progress so far. And we're done with the dailies for this guy. We're going to move over to the Sia. Take a break. I have been grinding quite a bit. All of my 4x are still here, but I did use all my 3 and all of my 2 and almost all of my gold potions. We're starting to rack up the node stones, which will be nice whenever this character transfers over. I pretty much don't need any nodes anymore. I still have some that I could disassemble, but we are sitting pretty happy at close to 15 to 20 plus on all of our skills. Even like our holy symbol is at 20, so that's really nice. And I'm honestly not looking to upgrade these so aggressively. And I'll try to keep as many transferable stuff that I can, just so, you know, trying to think about the future whenever I do go back to Chronos. This would be really nice to have. I don't have a ton of node stones, or actually any node stones. Alright, so we're back on my Mojuan over here. Before I finish up all my bosses, I figured I would just immediately go from one cubing session into the next. This helmet has been needing some help for a long time, so let's hope we get some DMT luck. I don't know when they started doing this double miracle time thing with only one piece of gear at a time. I don't know if I like it much better. Let me know what you guys think, because back when, back in my day, what we used to do is there used to be just double miracle time, and the servers would completely lag to absolute stops. And whenever that would happen, you knew it was double miracle time because you could do it for all your pieces of gear. And so, I mean, definitely a drawback is that the servers were pretty much completely useless whenever that was happening. Not the best, but it was nice because you could just do whatever piece of gear you wanted to, instead of having to kind of wait in between sessions, or, you know, I don't even know what the strategy is now, but there we go. We actually got it to work for us though, so I guess complaining is always gonna work. It seems some things that never change. As long as you complain, you will actually just win in this game. Hey, we got the double miracle time on both of our characters, so that is great news. Now we have legendary hats on all of our characters, which is great because I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but we do have DD cooldown. Ooh, 2 seconds plus stat. That is the best hat I've made so far. So what I was saying is we do have a lot of characters with cooldown reduction requirements, this being included in them, so we do want to make sure we get as much cooldown essentially on all 3 of my main characters, being the Mercedes, the Mo Xuan, as well as the Zero. All really like cooldown reduction, so that's why today was actually kind of a big day for my characters, making sure they all have the cooldown they need. Been waiting on it for a long time. I haven't been so kind with my miso, so now it's finally time to pay them back. This character hit it pretty early, so that's nice. Now I can just kind of fish for anything lucky. I don't think we're gonna get super lucky here, but if we get a 4-second, that would be crazy. 4-second with stat would be even crazier. Hey, nice. Rolled another one, but that's okay if we don't get a full dex line. This works just as well. Yay. 260. Alright, yay, finally we got to 60. Super excited, glad that is finally over with. I mean, it's kind of just beginning, but at least we made it here. I really wanted to do that push first thing I possibly could, because then it just unlocks all of the dailies that you can really do. Obviously, there's more in Grandis, but I just unlocked so many dailies, and it'll really start the account off in the right, on the right foot, especially because I do want to get to 275. So it's only 15 levels if you really think about it. That's a simple way of putting it. So we got to 260. I'm gonna go do the quest to unlock Cernium and Burnium. I think actually it should just automatically do it because I did it on the main account, so it should automatically unlock, and then I should still have to unlock sixth job, but that shouldn't be too difficult either. Let me go through this real quick and let's see how it goes. I'm actually in the middle of the 6th job right now, but I almost forgot. I wanted to keep you guys in the loop because this is our final part of the Hyperburn Max rewards. We do get the Sacred Symbol, which is awesome, some of the coupons, and the Hyperburn Max. That is a really sick title right there. So let's equip it actually. I think that would be fitting. Funny enough, I have a different appearance equipped right now. There we go. So here, let me swap that out. And there we go. Hyperburn Max. Awesome. So that's cool. And then we can combine that with the level 5 sacred symbol. Hell yeah, there we go. 100 sack right away. This comes 50 sack from the Cernium symbol, and then we also get 50 from the badge that we're using right now, which is, let's see, is it a badge or what? I don't even know if this was a badge or a title. I think it's a title, so we get 50 from here too, so that doubles it. Not too bad at all. That's going to help us a ton with training. I am going to get through the rest of this 6-job stuff. There's a ton of dialogue to go over. And I am going to be saving a lot of these symbol selectors because I think I'll need it going forward. So I'm going to try and save it for the time being. And same thing with these other symbol selectors over here. I am going to save it 40, 40, and 100. That is huge. But we are going to be using all these fragments as soon as I unlock a 6-job. So we can just skip over to that and I'll show you what I unlock first. So unfortunately, Past Me didn't know I'd be cutting him off there, so we'll have to wait to see what happens next. Thanks everyone for tuning in and hanging out and following along with all of our progression on the Challenger World series. In the next couple episodes, we're going to have a ton of progression as far as levels and bosses, so hopefully you all stick around and enjoy following along with this progression and kind of sticking with me as I, find my footing throughout these videos. I really appreciate it, and I already have some ideas for future episodes and future series too, so hopefully you can look forward to that as well. We have a ton of stuff coming up, so make sure to look forward to that. Thanks again for listening and watching, and I really hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next episode.